Welcome everyone to another Conversations in the Void. I am the one and only Graveyard, joined by my off-screen producer, Salem. You can't hear him, you can't see him, but he's there waiting in the wings. But without further ado, we have a very special surprise tonight. Not only do we have the writer, director, and some actors from these great movies here, like Tahoe Joe, Ghost, and Flock. Let's bring them on. First and foremost, we have writer, producer, director, actor, father, Dillon Brown.
What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
It's great. I'm just excited to be on here chatting with you again. It's been like, I feel like it wasn't that long ago that we were on the podcast, but then when I started thinking back, it actually was quite a ways ago, actually. So there's lots to catch up on.
Oh, yeah. And you brought some special guests. You guys might remember him from last week, the one and only Hunter Nina. How's it going?
It's good, man. It's good.
Awesome.
These guys are like, they're like tumors, you know. I can't cut them loose. I got attached to them. So I brought them with me today.
Nice. And rounding out the HorrorDadz trifecta, Josh Brucker.
It's me.
It's you.
What's up?
Yes.
He says, "Oh."
the audience numbers just plummeted. Like,
oh, it's that dude. Okay. Hey, guy, I got busy, guys. I'll see you later.
So, how's everyone ready to do some horror questions? Because Dillon, I have questions for you that these lovely people below us have answered the past couple weeks. But I want to know what makes Dillon Brown tick. You know, what movie brought you into the world of horror?
it was Jaws.
Jaws.
It's super vivid in my memory too. I was really
and
little.
Michael Rock has appeared. Oh my goodness!
Oh no!
Hold on, Mike. Somebody get this man a link.
Yes, we'd love to have Mike on here. I haven't met
Somebody
Mike
get
yet.
this man a link. This is the greatest podcast.
Hunter, pass the link over.
I got you. I'll be back.
So,
All right.
Matt, for me, it was Jaws. Though I remember like super vividly. My mom was watching my older cousin, who he used to always let me watch stuff I wasn't supposed to watch. Right? It was always like action stuff. He was a big time Arnold Schwarzenegger guy, so I was watching like Terminator, Commando, all this kind of action stuff. And I remember she was watching him because my aunt and uncle were gone somewhere, and Jaws came on, and I was super shocked when my mom was like, she looked at me and said, "Have you ever seen this?" And first of all, I'm thinking like, well, you're my mom. You would know if I have because you gatekeep everything I watch anyway. And I'm like, no, what is it? And she said, oh, it's this great movie about a killer shark. And I'm like, what? And so she said, well, yeah, you can watch it if you think you won't be scared. And I'm like, no, I want to watch it. And I was straight up glued to the television. And I remember being terrified, but I was not going to let her know I was terrified because I wanted to make sure there was more opportunities to watch stuff. But dude, it was Jaws. And even to this day, I still consider Jaws like my absolute number one greatest horror movie of all time, purely because of the game-changing kind of effect it had on culture, proving that horror could be like a master at the box office. And then the fact that Steven Spielberg, who at the time was just like a guy, and he was dealing with all the struggles that like we've dealt with, where like nothing was working. He had like this horrible cast and crew problem. There was like infighting. The shark is like a piece of crap. They're losing locations. Terrible weather. And he did it. And then he became like the greatest living director of all time. So that one just sits really close in my heart.
Yes. And he was on camera. Someone who I have not had the pleasure of talking with, the one and only Michael Rock.
Entourage.
I feel like I caught my wife cheating or something. What are you guys doing?
I was gonna tell you, I promise.
Well, Michael, welcome to the show. I am Graveyard. You might see me as other names on Facebook, but here, like Graveyard a lot. How's it going?
Thank you. It's fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. So I asked Hunter and Josh this before. I want to hear from Michael and Dillon. What is the most overrated horror, whether a TV show, movie, comic? What do you think?
Mothman by Joshua Brugger.
Nope.
I was thinking Tahoe Joe.
Yeah. Fucking ghost.
Oh,
No,
man.
I would say for me personally, it's The Shining.
Ooh. The movie or the miniseries?
The Stanley Kubrick one.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
super pretentious Stanley Kubrick didn't do anything Stephen King like Shining. There you go. That's my thing.
Yes,
But Shelley Duvall was good. Hunter's a big fan.
Oh, I love Shelley Duvall.
Awesome. What about you, Michael?
Man, I can't think of the name. I'm sure you guys know it though. It's with the lady that was in Black Widow.
Scarlett Johansson?
No, the other one. Like
Mila.
Black Widow.
Midsummer?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
man.
thinking of
I heard so much great things about that, and I watched it, and I was like, man, this is pretty boring. It's like it's just a bunch of people going to a festival. Okay, there's a bunch of naked chicks, and she has a flower tiara, and people are dead. I don't know, man.
2.5 hours later.
Yeah,
Yes.
2.5 hours later.
I did try to show that to my fiance. I was like, this is the pinnacle of horror.
There you go.
And about 2 hours in, she's like, when is this going to end?
Yeah.
I was like, I have no idea because I've never watched it. About 30 minutes later, we finally got through it.
Yeah,
Nice.
I will say that I enjoyed Midsummer to it. Like, there's parts of it that are super creepy to me, and but Hereditary was way better. I feel like Ari Aster crushed Hereditary, and then Midsummer was like, I don't know, it was him getting a little too pretentious or something.
Mhm.
I don't know. Something about it just felt like it was like self-masturbatory or something.
Yeah. And Hereditary actually flowed a lot better too, right? Like I felt like the story made its way a lot faster than Midsummer did.
Yeah, I agree. Especially, I mean, yeah, I won't say this. I don't know. There's probably people that haven't seen it, but there's a certain telephone pole that makes an appearance in Hereditary where, to me, I was like, that's the first time in a long time where I was sitting in a movie with my mouth just like what? So.
Do you see movies in theater still?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I guess.
You talking to me?
No.
Yeah, I go to the theater actually. I actually try to go pretty often, but I go by myself, which is super selfish. But I enjoy the big screen still. But to me, it's a little more fun to just go on my own. Like, I love to go to the theater with my wife. You know, if she's watching, I love it. But I honestly do. It's good. But it's just a lot of the movies I want to go see in theater, I know she's not super keen on. So I'm not going to drag her to the theater, pay like $50 freaking by the time we get stuff, right, and then her not enjoy it. So
maybe if you didn't live 2,000 miles away, we could go to the theater together.
I think you guys need to come out west with me and Mike.
I'm game.
You do.
Yeah, fucking sign me up.
It's pretty tempting.
So my overrated horror is, let's be very controversial. Ready? The Exorcist.
Yeah.
The classic.
I think it's overrated though.
So, you know what's really funny? The book. Has anybody in here read the book?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Like, the book freaked me out. William Peter Blatty, or however you say his name. I don't know, the way he writes it feels like it's very like matter of fact. Like he's writing like a dossier or something. I mean, it feels like real, and it's super scary to me. And the movie, I think one of the biggest problems for me with the movie is I was exposed to it like after seeing so many other things. So for me, I was like, that's what everybody was But then when I started putting myself kind of in the shoes of what it probably was like back then to see something like that, because I will say, like, a 13-year-old girl like masturbating with a crucifix and then her head fucking spins all the way around is pretty messed up even now. Like, even for Gen Z, that's fucked up.
Absolutely fair. Absolutely fair. What do you guys think is the most underrated horror then?
Tahoe Joe.
Tahoe Joe?
Tahoe Joe, definitely.
No, gosh, that's a tough one. Okay, here's two. You know how everybody talks about remakes that are really good, like me and Josh gush over The Thing all the time.
Yep.
That's like the greatest remake of all time. And The Fly was like a brilliant remake. But one that I feel like never gets talked about enough was from the 80s. Chuck Russell redid The Blob with Matt Dillon.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so good. And I feel like that one isn't talked about enough. That movie's like still to this day holds up so good with the effects.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll go with that one. And then I think James Wan and Lee Wanell always get talked about. It's like Saw and Insidious and The Conjuring and all that cool stuff. But Dead Silence, the puppet one, is awesome.
Love that movie. I agree with The Blob, especially because that was like the first horror movie you have a kid die on screen.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching that for the first time, and that kid getting like sucked out of the sewer when they're all trying to climb out.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that kid just died on camera.
Oh yeah.
There's also that weird scene where they're like at a lookout thing, and that guy gets all rapey on that girl, and he's like feeling up her tits, and then they like suck into her body because the blob's in there, and like her whole body implodes. And I remember just being like, I wanted to be celibate, for a while. I was like,
in 1988,
like recoiled that hard, bro. Like, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
But the effects on that scene, they were like ingrained in my head for a long time. And then when you watch it now, when you see how creepy that guy is on that girl, it makes that whole scene like even more uncomfortable to watch. It's like,
what was that by? Was that Frank Darabont?
What's that?
Was that movie Frank Darabont?
No, Chuck Russell. Frank did The Mist.
Oh, The Mist. Oh,
I don't know if
that's
you're
right.
thinking about that one, maybe.
Yeah, that's right. My bad.
Well, what about you, Mike? What do you think is the most underrated?
All right, so there's a few horror movies that really affected me throughout my life. So, one of them, of course, is Jaws. Another one is Final Destination. Like, I will not drive behind a truck with wood beams on it. And then a third one that I never hear get talked about is Chud.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
So, like, to this day, man, like if I'm like near a sewer, or if I have to go in a sewer for whatever reason, it's like I think of that movie, and eventually, Ninja Turtles came out. So it's like, all right, well, I might be protected by the Ninja Turtles, but still, I still have to watch out for these guys. This is freaky, man. Like you never know what's in the sewer and what kind of chemicals are down there, turning the hobos into some crazy ass creatures.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Chud, man, Chud is. For me, Chud is very underrated, and again, that's one of the top 3 that really stuck with me throughout my life.
I think Chud has the greatest title for a movie ever, too.
Oh yes.
Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground
Dwellers.
Yeah.
We can't forget Chud too, Bud the Chud.
We can definitely forget Chud too.
Oh,
in Chud, one of the scenes I always remember is you got this crew of guys that go down there and they have flamethrowers. For some reason, they have flamethrowers instead of just like guns, and they just get freaking slaughtered.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I remember that there's a scene too, and there's like a lady in the house, and one of the Chuds gets in there, and it's like head is like growing off of its body, and then she lops it off with a sword that's just randomly hanging on the wall.
You don't have swords randomly hanging on your walls?
Well, after Ghosts, Mike might. I don't know. We actually left Ghost's sword on set, and the guys the next day found it, and Mike had broken it in half.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Broke during filming the sword battle. Even though Toma and I, the guy who played Belial, even though we were going really slow and Dillon sped it up in post, it still broke. It was Toma's
sword weighed like sword. As much as me.
Yeah.
I just learned that's not a whole lot either.
Yeah, Hunter thought I was like a larger presence, I guess, and now he's disappointed that I'm small.
You're like just shy of being a midget, dude.
Oh man,
You can carry me on your back on set the next time you're around.
he'll whisper to you like Yoda.
Little backpack.
I'll train you.
Hey,
All right,
you know
so-
what? You know what? I want to say this real quick, Hunter. If you look at the nasty goth chick that ripped on me and Mike on Letterboxd for Tahoe Joe, she said, muscle-bound idiots go into the woods looking for Bigfoot.
Hell
so
yeah.
she thinks I have muscles.
Noticing our gains. Thanks, Top Chick. Appreciate it.
Looks like I'm gonna have to work out for the sequel. Nobody's ever complimented my muscle.
Hunter, I think your muscles are great. There you go.
Oh, thank you. You heard it here first, folks.
So since I have all of you on here, I've heard from Hunter's side and Josh's side. I want to hear from Mike and Dillon as well, and everyone. How did the cryptidverse and HorrorDadz kind of come into play?
All these fools jumped in my DMs. No, so I knew Mike first, based on when I went to go make the flock. Mike had showed up for a casting call, and we like hit it off. So we were planning to work together on some stuff, but I don't know, Josh. When I was talking to you, I think I might have been almost done with the flock. Right when you were getting ready to start up Mothman, I think I was like, I hadn't filmed the tail end yet because we ended up having that line in there where they talk about, oh, did you hear there's a Mothman in West Virginia or whatever. So I hadn't, I don't think I had wrapped the film yet when Josh and I were sort of chatting, and Josh had basically, I don't know, it was in that found footage group on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's like, hey, I've been trying this, a couple of times, and I wrote some books, but I want to get into the filmmaking thing. And he was like picking my brain, and we started chatting. And so to be like totally transparent, I was like, oh God, like here comes another one. But Josh was like a real writer. So when he showed me his treatment for Mothman, I'm like, oh no, this guy's like actually serious. Like he's really going to make one, because these guys hear it all the time too. There's everybody and their mother's going to be a movie maker, right? Everybody's gonna be a filmmaker. They're all gonna direct. They're all gonna be a writer. They're all gonna do this. Everybody has a screenplay, and then like 0.5% of those people actually do anything with it, and then even less than that actually finish one.
Right.
So Josh and I were chatting back and forth, and then Hunter was also talking about. Hunter had like a demon urban legend thing or something that you wanted to do.
I still have it.
Yeah. And
I was
so
writing it with a friend of mine who unfortunately...
What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was writing it with a friend of mine who unfortunately passed away.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's terrible.
Mm-hmm. But I still have it. I still have that story. I want to do it eventually.
Well, we should. Because it's really cool. So that was why I kind of started talking to Hunter. He was another one that he had like a pretty realized idea, and it's a very original idea. And so Josh is going to go film Mothman, and I knew that Hunter was looking for experience on a set, so I kind of just like throw Hunter, who I've never even met in person, by the way, and I'm like, hey, Josh, you should totally have this guy come out to your movie set and just hope that he's not going to kill you all. And so Hunter shows up as a PA for them, and then they hit it off. Yep. And Mike and I at the time were starting to jump into Tahoe Joe pre-production and stuff, because we kind of rolled on that right after the flock was done. And then it just got to the point where there was like so much cross-contamination going on that we all just rolled in together. And it's like, next thing you know, we're like, we got to all work together. And it was just, it felt like silly to not take advantage of it, because I don't think, I personally haven't talked to too many weird dudes online I wanted to keep talking to.
We're like a horror boy band.
Yeah. H-pop.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, I was actually the last guy to come on for the HorrorDadz. There was a couple other guys before me, and one would get booted and then another guy got booted, and then so Dillon was like, well, it's like, you want to join our crew? We went through some other guys, so by default, you hang out with me anyway. I was like, okay,
Yes.
cool. Thanks for the invite, buddy. Yes,
It was a resounding yes.
I accept your sad ass offer. Yes.
We wouldn't have it any other way, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
Well, and
shit.
the real reason too that we wanted Mike on board was so when we were doing Tahoe Joe, I jumped onto that to originally be like the director of it. I had this kind of passion project for a Bigfoot thing I wanted to do, but Mike was doing so much freaking work. Like he was finding me all these people. He was location scouting when I was at work. I got to the point where I'm like, I have to offer this dude a co-director slot because it's not even fair to be the only one on there as a director when Mike is actually doing like a lot of director duties. So as soon as I brought him on as that, and we were realizing it was so freaking easy to work together, I'm just like, why not bring Mike on as part of the HorrorDadz deal? It'd be silly not to have him a part of it. And so, yeah, I mean, like the rest is history. It was easy. And then, yeah, thankfully those other two didn't work out, honestly. It's got this group here together, and a lot of big things have happened since we cut the dead weight. So
Yeah, for sure.
And
I'll agree with you.
This is actually the first time that all four of the Horror Dads been on a video chat together.
This is, yeah.
Oh yeah, because Mike wasn't in on the other one. But we talked a few times.
No.
Well,
We butt dialed each other.
There you go, Matt.
That's awesome.
You get the exclusive, good sir.
Yes.
This is history.
Yes.
This is history.
Matt, you're like Maury.
Yes. You are
You
not
brought all
the
the
father. Oh man, this is wow. Time is just flying by. But we talked. Josh and Dillon, we were discussing conventions. You guys are going to do more of those potentially 2024? What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Josh. You can talk about this one.
Yeah, so like Matt, I told you, I would love to do a couple Days of the Dead Con.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming up. They have multiple locations and stuff. And like earlier, I mentioned Woodman is playing at Horror Realm Con in Pittsburgh. And I think a good number of us are going to be there too. We've got that. And I don't know, Matt, what other conventions were you wanting to do other than anything else that I mentioned?
Yeah, I think there's a fan expo potentially coming up too. There's gonna be some horror people in 2024. I have to go through the list. I just want to get that list and put it in front of you guys. Like I said, when we
know that I had first met you through Reno Pop Culture's Con or whatever because the Distance Nerding guys were there. So they're supposed to come back. So Mike and I will probably try and get a booth at that one. When I went and saw the show, I'm like, oh yeah, we got to represent Reno movie scene here because nobody else was. There were a lot of comic book guys. There were a lot of content creators. There were people making some amazing stuff, but there was nobody doing the film stuff. So I thought, well, we got to jump in on this for sure. And then Mike is working for a pretty big and well-known haunt that's over here right now over Halloween.
Ooh. And
they go to Trans World and like all those Monster Palooza type stuff because they're always looking for special effects and creature stuff. And I want to go to one of those with them too because they said it's like unbelievable the amount of props and things and the connections you can make. So I really want to go to one of those at some point.
That's awesome because we were discussing with our podcast being part of the Comic-Con radio network, just like this. They're supposed to be sending and giving me either press passes or a table, and I'm hoping to get you guys in on that stuff too. So I'm excited.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So yes. Like I said, we're just flying by this. So we're gonna be about 5 minutes left of the show. I'd love to keep this going all night. I know we all have stuff to do, but we'll have all of us here discussing practical versus CGI. What's better?
Oh God.
CGI.
There you go.
I knew.
And you're fired immediately.
I'm kidding.
No, it's for me. If it's organic and it's in camera, you get a better reaction from the actors. And I will say that my stepson, who's 10, saw footage from the original thing and was like absolutely grossed out from a movie that is 30 years older than it, or 25 years older, whatever, than him.
Yeah.
Because it was practical, and I think his generation's mind is so conditioned to the Marvel and Star Wars effect that when the effects are practical, to him, that is the mind-blowing what the hell moment.
Right.
So it was really cool to see that kind of switch, because when I was his age and CGI was first starting to come out, it was the other way. I was like, how's this even happening? I remember Forrest Gump when they had Lieutenant Dan's legs were missing, and I just like, how is that even possible? Like, how did they do that?
Right.
And now that's so common that it's not like nothing's impressive to kids anymore. And then AJ walked in and I'm watching the thing and he was like gagging. He's like, oh my God, like what is that? And I thought, hell yeah, that's what that is. You just got a lesson in true horror, buddy.
Awesome. What about you, Michael? You're a CG guy?
No, I'm a practical guy, man. And I've talked about this before. So if you watch the original Ninja Turtles movie and then you watch the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movie, completely different. Like the OG Ninja Turtles look so much better with the real suits. I watched the CGI and it looks like garbage to me. And CGI could really ruin a movie for me, like the movie Smile. Like yes. I enjoyed Smile, but then when they did the monster reveal at the end, it was just horrible CGI. And I was out of it. Another example is, and I showed Dillon this, the Scorpion King. $60 million budget. $60 million budget. And it looks like absolute ass.
Shit.
Yes.
It looks like a bad video game. Like there's video games that are bad that have better animation than the half Scorpion Rock or whatever.
I'm pretty sure the video game looked better than the movie.
Absolutely did. Absolutely did. So I know we're all practical guys here. I love it. I love the fact that we, because it's our generation is practical and we're still going back to practical. And I think you guys are right. It has a major impact on the movie because you go, wow, they did that practically. It's amazing.
That's your guys' generation. I'm different.
Well, yes, you're a little bit younger than us there, Hunter. I know.
I thought you bounced out.
I accidentally hit my camera button.
So people know that watch the show. I do pull up a random horror movie trivia. I'll ask each one of you one here.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we'll start with Michael since he's on screen. All right, so Michael, stuntman Kane Hodder is best known for his portrayal of what character?
Jason Voorhees.
There you go.
All
right, Hunter, you're up.
Uh-oh. I got my last
Yes, what 1988 film directed by Wes Craven centers around an anthropologist sent to Haiti to research voodoo?
I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
1988 Wes Craven.
Hold on, I gotta Google this real quick. Who is Wes Craven? I'm just kidding. All right, I actually don't know this one. You said 1987?
1988. You know, Dillon?
Can I answer it? Can I answer?
Serpent and the Rainbow.
Yes.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I would not have guessed that if I tried.
Have you never seen that one, Hunter?
That's a good one.
No.
Dude,
it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's...
Say the title
I don't
again?
even want to tell you what it's about. If you go in blind, you're going to be like...
It's got Bill Pullman in it, right?
Yeah.
Say the title again.
The Serpent and the Rainbow.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, yeah. All right, Dillon. In the 1996 movie Jack Frost, the serial killer mutates into what?
A snowman.
Yes.
I couldn't have gotten that question.
And I'll take it one step further. That movie has two incredible snowballs in it too, and they belong to Shannon Elizabeth's chest.
Yes. All right.
He said, "All right."
No, I know. Yes. For you, Josh, in the Puppet Master series, I know this is one of your favorites.
Oh my God!
How does a female doll murder her victims?
I told you I hate this series. I have not watched any of them.
Okay. That's
I think I know the answer to that one. If
yes.
I could answer.
Yeah.
She opens her mouth and a leech comes out of her mouth into her victim's mouth.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I thought she had the drill on the head. That's right.
Now that-
She leeches.
yes.
Yeah.
All right. We'll give you another one since you haven't seen that.
Sounds
So
great.
it's
All
fair for you. What mythical creature did Hadley hope to see as a killer in Cabin in the Woods?
I got this one.
Ooh,
You know.
I don't know this one.
I got this
Yeah,
one. It's a
it's the-
merman.
Yeah.
Yes. It is the merman.
The merman.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember which of the I guess the business guys or whatever else you call them. I don't remember their name, so yeah.
All good. All right. Well, it's about that time. This flew by. I want to do this again with you guys. We should do this more often, quite honestly.
It's all right. All of our budgets for this, or all of our payouts, are $1,000 a piece. So we'll
Oh, okay.
expect that soon.
My agent will get that to you. All right. So, Dillon, let's start with you. Give us your pluggables, man. Where can we find you? Where can we follow you?
So we've got the Horror Nerd Productions page on Facebook and Instagram. That's like the local Reno stuff. And then, of course, HorrorDadz has all of our stuff on it. We've got HorrorDadzProductions.com. Is that it, Josh? The new site we just launched.
Yep.
Brand new. You can go in there. You can see all the work we've done, the stuff that we're going to do. Click the posters. It'll take you to links of movies that are out there, or it'll take you to like articles about stuff that's not out yet. It's pretty cool. And then we have a HorrorDadz YouTube channel that we hardly ever use, that we should probably use a little more.
We have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's there. And then Horror Nerd has a Big Cartel store. The link is in our Instagram that takes you to physical media. We've got Blu-ray. Yeah, all the fun stuff.
All right here. Yeah.
Right there. So yeah, we're super active on our Facebook page, the HorrorDadz Facebook and Horror Nerd Facebook. That's pretty much where it seems to be most of the connections come in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you'll find us if you look hard enough.
All right. Thank you very much. How about you, Mr. Michael?
You can find me at Instagram, Cadre Mike Rock, Facebook, Michael Rock, iMDB, search Michael Rock. I'm there, man.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Hunter? Give us your pluggables again, sir.
Oh, you want me to do it again?
Yeah.
I'm pretty technologically illiterate, so I have a Facebook and an Instagram. You can find me on Facebook by my name that's right here. And then basically the same thing on Instagram, but there's like a little underscore.
Yes. Awesome.
At least
Josh.
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah. Okay, so everybody, just like Hunter, sees my name. Find me on everything. I go by that. And to harken back to Dillon, just the HorrorDadz website and Facebook page, you can get a hold of us.
Awesome. I don't know about you guys. I had a blast. This was amazing. I got to speak to two people. I spoke to Dillon before, but thank you for joining us, everyone. Michael, nice meeting you for the first time.
Nice meeting you.
Anything else you guys want to leave the audience with before we go?
Just watch our shit and don't pirate it.
Yeah, just do it.
Share it everywhere too. Make sure you share and like.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Share.
And we're always taking,
Tell your grandmas.
donations.
Watch
There
our
you
stuff
go.
and give us money.
Give us money and tell your grandmas.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us. I've been Graveyard. Follow us on anywhere at Pod Out at Night. We'll have new episodes for this month of October, twice a week over at Comic-Con Radio, and this will be uploaded to Comic-Con Radio at some point in time when they make me the new show for me to upload to. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. This has been a blast. We'll see you next time. Don't get lost in the void.
Right.
Bye.
Thanks, man.
Bye.
We